This is the Power Platform Daily Brief from CRM Audio for Monday, April 29th, 2019. I'm Joel Lindstrom. This is what you need to know about the Power Platform in 10 minutes or less. In today's Power Platform Daily Brief, we're going to talk about some big updates that came out in the last week. First off, the Power Apps Component Framework and the Power Apps CLI is now available for public preview. What the Power Component Framework is the next generation of web resources. So you can build reusable components, visual controls. And if you've been using things like the mobile controls that were introduced in version 8 or the editable grid controls or any of those visual controls, those are early versions of the Power Component Framework. And so the good thing is we can now create our own. And so initially these will only work in unified interface, but it's called the Power Apps Component Framework because these will very shortly also work in Canvas apps. So I predict we're going to see explosion in new controls, both from Microsoft as well as partners, and really make the interface much more interesting. You see the show notes for a link to the official announcement. And what the Power Apps CLI is, that's the developer tools. The Power Apps CLI is a developer command line interface that enables you to easily build custom components for Power Apps faster and more efficiently. And so you can download that now, and you can go ahead and start building your controls. If you've been on LinkedIn or Twitter and looked at MVPs that are developers or people in the community, you've already seen some people show some pretty snazzy controls out there. Second thing is, and this was buried in the bottom of a blog post on the Flow blog from Steven Siciliano, and that is that the Dynamics 365 connector for Flow is deprecated. And so we've told you a long time on CRM Tip of the Day and on CRM Audio that you should be using the Common Data Service connector. And so you'll want to go ahead and update your flows, and I would say also your Power Apps if you have any of those. And so just keep that in mind, especially any new flows, new Power Apps, use the Common Data Service connector, and I would plan on working to update your existing ones. Third story, the new form designer in the Common Data Service grows up. You can now copy and drag and drop fields. So it supports drag and drop and cut and paste. So we've had drag and drop in the classic form designer. And one of the things, if you've tried the preview of the new form designer, you'll notice that you can't drag and drop. Well, now you can. And even cooler, you can cut and paste. So say you have a section or a field or a group of fields that are in the wrong part of the form, or you want to put them someplace else, you can cut them and paste them. And the drag and drop is much smoother than what has been in the classic UI. So for me, in recent years, the drag and drop experience in the classic UI has really been hit or miss. Depending on what kind of browser you're using, it hasn't been smooth. This is much more smoother, where you can more easily see the defined area where you're dragging and dropping. So this is the last major gap that I know of with the new form designer. So check that out. And then the last thing is enhancements to the on-premises gateway. With the last release, global admins had visibility into the on-premise gateways with their enterprise. Now they will also be able to see all the personal on-premises gateways. And so you can also manage the installers, control who can install on-premises gateways. You could take away permissions, much more security. So check that out if you are using on-premises systems and the on-premises data gateways to connect to them with the Power Platform with Flow and Power Apps. That's today's Power Platform Daily Brief for Monday, April 29th, 2019. Power on.